Despite the fact that 2021 was relatively quiet in terms of big-ticket games and we still have a backlog of mind-boggling games to play. And that pile of shame is only going to get larger because this year and beyond, there are plenty of fantastic games that will reach your fingertips in a short period of time. Whatever your gaming love, there's so much to look forward to, from upcoming AAA games to highly anticipated treasures. There is a slew of new PC games to add to your wish list, regardless of whether you use Steam, Epic, Ubisoft Connect, or Origin. These new games include cutting-edge ray tracing titles as well as improvements to your favorite RPGs, shooters, and co-op classics. To assist you, we've compiled a list of the top 15 upcoming games in genres such as adventure, action, and more. Take a look and mark your calendars. Do you want to be kept up to date on the latest gaming industry news and releases? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click on the bell button for the most up-to-date information on all things gaming. 15. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. The Ubisoft exhibit at E3 2021 wasn't exactly packed with surprises, but no one expected Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora to be one of them. The majority of the nearly 3-minute teaser is made up of in-engine cinematics, with snatches of pre-rendered in-game footage thrown in whenever the camera shifts to the first person. While it depicts a lovely setting, this trailer basically says nothing about the real game, owing to the fact that it is just too early to reveal anything. According to Ubisoft's official website, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora will be an open-world game with a first-person perspective. This next-gen title, according to Ubisoft, will present players with a beautiful and immersive experience. 14. Black Myth: Wukong. Unlike previous Black Myth trailers, which focused on action, this one focuses on setting the atmosphere for the game's story, explaining why the monkey-like protagonist will be fighting a slew of monstrosities. That's not to say the trailer wasn't packed with action. Black Myth: Wukong looks stunning as always, combining Sekiro-style combat with hyper-realistic graphics and silky 60 frames per second. When Game Science's Adventure finally comes out, we're guessing it'll require a powerful PC. 13. Hell is Us. Hell is Us is a semi-open world third-person action-adventure game in which the protagonist sets out to learn more about his background in a country decimated by civil conflict. The country's near-total self-sufficiency conceals a grim secret: the recent advent of otherworldly beings in the region that resemble old headstones and monuments. The citizens refer to this occurrence as the Calamity. The protagonist, armed with weapons particularly crafted to combat these weapons, must learn to beat them and use his equipment correctly. Hell is Us is still a ways off from being released, and Jacques Beltet isn't ready to say when it will be. He estimates that it will be several years before we get our hands on the game. 12. Gotham Knights. It's been years since the previous Batman game, but with the new title Gotham Knights, we're finally returning to the dark world of Gotham City. This game, however, is not being developed by the usual suspects. Gotham Knights are set in a realm different from the Arkham games and will feature 4 members of the Bat family. While you can play Gotham Knights solo, there is also the option to play co-op multiplayer, which allows a second player to drop in and out of the game as one of your fellow knights, without impacting you. 11. Dead Space Remake. The Dead Space franchise has been begging to be revived for years, and EA has finally decided to listen, if only because there's a lot of money to be made. But nevertheless, the Dead Space remake is genuine. Are you all set to return to the USG Ishimura? As far as we know, the Dead Space remake will follow the same story as the original, although that doesn't rule out the possibility of any tweaks. To be honest, the story in Dead Space may be just as cheesy as a Resident Evil game. Editing some dialogue here and there wouldn't harm. The Dead Space remake appears to be on track to capture the game's trademark intense and unsettling third-person horror action. 10. Bleak: Faith Forsaken. Will Bleak: Faith Forsaken be able to surpass Dark Souls? Bleak: Faith Forsaken is more than just a Souls-style game. It's breaking the mold by emphasizing stealth and verticality. This game is an open-world Soulsborne-style game from Archangel Studios that attempts to elevate its scope to new heights. Right away, it's evident that Bleak Faith isn't trying to be a carbon replica of Dark Souls, but rather its natural growth. Instead of rehashing hackneyed themes, the game seeks to introduce newfound diversity to the genre with novel mechanisms and liberties granted to the players. The potential to experience the magnificent, dark fantasy world that the players inhabit in more intimate and varied ways is the most appealing possibility of Bleak: Faith Forsaken. Bleak Faith has the potential to alter the genre as we know it, with its redesigned approaches to exploration and encounters. 9. Sons of the Forest. If you're a lover of survival games, you've probably heard of a game called The Forest. The game, which was developed by Night Games and released in 2014, was a huge hit for a variety of reasons. Its much-anticipated sequel, Sons of the Forest, was first revealed in late 2019. Since then, players all around the world have been guessing about when it will be released and what new features will be included. Based on the success of its predecessor and what we can see from the trailers, the game is bound to flourish. We can't wait to get our hands on the game so we can delve deep into this next sandbox and survive. 8. Instinction. Instinction will be an Unreal Engine 5-powered action-adventure horror game set in a dinosaur-infested open environment. Players will be able to seamlessly move between the first and third person in this game, which may be played single or online with others. Sometimes you won't have any weapons and will have to rely on your wits to extricate yourself out of a tight place, implying that the game will be more of a horror than a dinosaur shooter. Instinction is a prehistoric action-adventure game featuring a cinematic plot, battles, exploration, and puzzles set in a world that can be as dangerous and beautiful as the creatures encountered. 7. The Outer Worlds 2. The Outer Worlds 2 is unquestionably one of the most eagerly awaited forthcoming RPGs for Xbox One and PC. Obsidian Entertainment, the studio behind KOTOR 2, Fallout New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity, and many other games, is behind it. The 2019 release has proven to be a great delight for anyone who missed out on The Outer Worlds or simply needs a refresher. It managed to combine the essence of Bethesda's Fallout games with a more forward-thinking approach to mission design, companions, and exploration. One of the reasons we're looking forward to The Outer Worlds 2 is because of this. 6. Stray. There are a lot of AAA games coming out in the next few years, but one that stands out is Stray, a cute little game that follows a stray cat through a dystopian future. Stray breaks the mold by featuring a nameless cat as the protagonist. Playing as a cat isn't exactly a novel notion, but Stray manages to make it both intriguing and enjoyable thanks to the game's progression and the various activities available to players as they travel around a cyberpunk city populated by humanoid machines. It doesn't appear to be graphically demanding. That's not to say it doesn't look excellent. The art design is stunning, but we don't think it'll ever require a tank to run. It's unusual that a unique and exciting game like Stray emerges amid a sea of homogeneous AAA games, so we're really looking forward to getting our hands on it when it does. 5. Atomic Heart. Before the release of a scary, explosive trailer in May 2018, almost no one had heard of Atomic Heart. It immediately rose to the top of our list of most anticipated games. The world is a product of both Russian sci-fi and the experiences of the Mundfish dev team, some of whom grew up in Russia. Its combat is a mix of shooting and melee with homemade weapons, and you'll need to sneak through some places due to the paucity of ammo. 4. System Shock Remastered. The long-awaited System Shock Remake has a fresh 7-minute stretch of gameplay available for your viewing pleasure, following our courageous hacker through the depths of research. It's a good little slice of the game with some hacking, exploring, a little bit of finding different routes, and even a few rounds of shooting at cyborgs and mutants. It's a good reminder of how far Night Dive has progressed with the remake over the years. 3. Stalker 2. It's a one-of-a-kind blend of FPS, immersive simulation, and horror with a rich atmosphere. You'll get access to one of the largest open worlds ever created, as well as an epic branching plot with several endings. Your decisions will have an impact on both short-term and long-term effects. 2. Wrongdust. When the gameplay trailer for Wrongdust was shown off at the Golden Joystick Awards, many people were attracted by the open-world game and its premise. Wrongdust isn't hesitant about revealing its sources of inspiration. Apart from It Follows, the developers of Wrongdust believe that the game has taken inspiration from Silent Hill, Dark Souls, and Resident Evil. Spooky. 1. Project Relic. The ambitious Project Relic is a multiplayer Souls-like game that also claims to be an indie game. Although Project Relic is described as a multiplayer action game, the trailer above only displays solo play. Project Relic appears to take a jerky approach to the formula. Everything moves quickly, the player dashes around, and successful hits seem to result in mini explosions. However, the influence beneath the surface is so apparent. One of the bosses resembles a bloated Capra demon, and the environments are so generic that I'm left wondering what will set this apart from the rest of this genre. Phew, that was too much to take in. Marked your calendars yet? But hey, have you ever wondered about how much it costs to develop a video game? If you have, or if you do now, Check out 10 most expensive games ever made up next from our profile. See you at the next one.